Welcome to Lost on Ice, the show about the show 20 years later. Today, we are talking about Season 3, Episodes 15 and 16. I'm Will. Also here is Ben, and you can watch full video episodes of the podcast on YouTube. Ben and I also release a bonus hangout show every week that can be found at patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton. Ben, before we get into the show today, I have one question for you. What is on your head, my brother?
A hat, a winter hat, with a ball
Oh,
on the
okay.
top.
Tipping down, that's helping me. This is helping me a little bit. Straight on, I couldn't tell if you had like a do-rag going.
Yeah, it's a new thing. I turned off my own video so I can't see myself, but hopefully you can see this ball. It's
Yeah.
a elf. It's not an elf style hat, but it's elf themed, elf inspired.
Elvis, yeah, you're rocking a toque.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. That's like what a Canadian person would say.
Yeah.
That's not an American thing.
Yeah, yeah, knit cap, beanie.
A winter baseball cap. I don't know actually what an American calls this. A winter hat. A winter
Yeah.
hat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right. Yep. It was definitely throwing me off for a little bit, but once you turned your head, I could see what was going on. Looking good. Looking good. All right. Let's talk about Lost. I kind of feel like we're in the home stretch of the season here, and I'm basing this only on the feelings that I have that things just kind of have to start wrapping up. I'm getting a little bit stir crazy with this season, and I think my reaction to the Paolo and Nikki episode that we talked about recently is part of this. Like, I really enjoyed that complete break and fresh take of what's going on the island. And now that we're back with the main gang, just kind of seemingly inching towards the finish line, just ready for a new season. Let's roll the dice, get ourselves a new premise or conceit for this season. I don't think I ended up loving the stuff going on in this season, big story wise, but that's just where I'm at right now with it. There's nothing particularly egregious about these episodes, but I just, getting a little stir crazy. How are you feeling?
I'm sort of surprised that you said that, not because I feel differently. I think I agree with you, but I thought that this first episode in particular would be one that you would like a lot, which we can get into why as we get into it, but yeah. I kind of agree with you. In fact, we are on the I think we're on the back half of the series at this point, right?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're more than
Yeah.
halfway done especially because the seasons 4 through 6 have fewer episodes than seasons 1 through 3. I think 1 through 3
Sure.
have 24, and then 3 through 6 have 17 each. Maybe there's another different number in there, but yeah, and we're more than halfway through season 3 as it
Mm.
is. So yeah, we're more than halfway done with Lost.
Yeah. But I agree with you. It's like let's get this going. Let's finish up the season.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not done with Lost. I just am done with this season. I don't know if that makes much sense, but yeah. The first episode we're going to talk about today is season 3, episode 15, called Left Behind. It aired on April 4th, 2007. It was directed by Karen Gaviola, and it was written by Damon Lindelof and Elizabeth Sarnoff. We do get a lot of Iowa in this episode. Is that why you thought that I would like it?
Well, it was Kate episode. Yeah, there's a little bit of Iowa. That's not quite what I was thinking. But yeah, Hawaii. Let's call it Hawaii. I've
Yeah,
just thought of
we
that.
do. The landscape does look a lot more like Iowa.
It's closer, but I've also been to Hawaii now, so like
In the last
I'm
week for
like that's
research,
Hawaii.
Ben went to Hawaii to see what it was like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. All right. So in a flashback to Iowa, Kate's car breaks down and is towed into a service station. Like the guy that she hitches a ride with says, like, "Welcome to Iowa.
"Welcome to Iowa."
Welcome to Iowa."
And she's like, "How long is it gonna take to fix that belt?" And he's like, 3 days." And she's like, "3 days?" He's like, "Welcome to Iowa." I don't
Isn't
quite know
she
what that
from
means.
Iowa?
She's from Iowa, yeah, it comes up later on. Somebody asks her, "Why are you in Iowa?" And she's like she says, like, "To see my mom," but she says it in a weird way. It's like,
Yeah.
"Because you're from here." She also ha
Yeah.
yeah, it's where she, yeah, lived.
She's actually Canadian. Evangeline Lilly.
Evangeline
Yeah.
Lilly?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Apparently she was kind of scouted as a model. It's like she was like one of those people just like someone just like came out to her and was like, "Looking good, want to be a model?" And
Oh, wait, somebody scouted her to be a model. I feel like a lot of
yeah.
models get scouted to be actresses.
I don't know if a lot of them do, but
Well, I watch a lot of Hong Kong movies, and, like, a lot of actresses in Hong Kong are, like they were the former Miss Hong Kong 1986,
hmm.
and then now they're the most famous actress of all time.
Okay. um
But okay.
any yeah, but yeah, for yeah, Evangeline Lilly, I mean, I think that there's plenty of many of us who live in Iowa have been scouted to be models, like just like this. So I don't think you need to go up to Canada to look for somebody
Yeah.
who looks like that in
Ashton
Iowa. Like
Kutcher,
everyone here,
right?
yeah,
He got scouted to be a model or something, right? He's from Iowa.
he is from Iowa. Was he a model?
I think so. They didn't scout him to be in that would be pretty
I
cool if
guess
they
yeah.
had scouted him to
If they
be
scouted him
straight
for
and
his
punked.
acting chops, that would have been that's
Yeah.
an interesting decision.
I think they should have scouted him to, yeah, be straight into punked, you know? What if we just had a reality TV show with no kind of
We
celebrity
need some
hook? It's
like
just a guy. It's just a kid
yeah.
from
We
Iowa.
just need a guy. God, what are we gonna do? Here's this goofy motherfucker. He's really like he has a very evil aura. He's not our proudest export, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Um, he keeps like coming out in support of different pedophiles and like it and like having different weird like cryptocurrency startups or whatever. Like I think he's gotta chill his slow his roll. Someone Ashton Kutcher, come on. He doesn't represent it. I would much prefer Michael Emerson be uh, our boy.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Well, come on. Okay. Um, yeah, okay. So Kate's car breaks down and is towed into a service station. She overhears a man and a woman arguing. The woman is Cassidy, whom Sawyer trained to be a grifter and all of whose money he stole in the flashbacks of a previous episode. This is Kim Dickens, I think is her name. Uh
Yeah.
Deadwood fans, we've seen her before, but yeah, she's back. She is working the jewelry con on the man. Where she's like, "You know, boss with fake jewel or some real jewelry. It's real."
It's a little sad, you know?
It is sad. Yeah,
You're doing your ex-boyfriend's grift? It's kinda lame.
yeah, it's a little sad. But the man thinks the necklaces are fake and wants to call the police. But Kate tells him that her father was a jeweler and the jewelry is not fake, dissuading the man from calling. Cassidy asks Kate why she didn't want the police to be called. Later, over drinks at a bar, Kate explains that her stepfather was a bad man, so she killed him, escaped from the U.S. Marshal, who arrested her, and is now back in Iowa to talk to her mother. Cassidy offers to help her. She said that she was conned and embarrassed by a bad guy as well, referring to Sawyer, and that one of them deserved something good. So, this is one of those episodes that, like, I don't know. It's nice to have, like, uh, women helping each other out like this. It's kind of a nice thing, but I don't think we quite get this episode's not quite past the Bechdel test with flying colors. We do have a lot of uh women talking to each other, but it is always about some dude, some kind of about another
Yeah.
guy, and then also literally, like, Kate and, Juliet are, like, handcuffed to each other by Jack, metaphorically.
Yeah. You know, I watched I'd never seen this movie before. I watched, My Blueberry Nights, the Wong Kar-wai American movie with, Nora Jones, and it's kinda like this episode. There's a Natalie Portman segment that's kind of like this episode too, where it's like, it's the women episode, but also everything they're doing is about kind of a guy off screen, and they're kind of helping each other out in a little tricky crime-ish style situation. But yeah, it's not the best. Sorry to jump ahead to my little rating on it, but yeah, it's not the most compelling thing. And I'm already not a big fan of a Kate episode, you know?
I didn't really mind the, Kate backstory here, like, generally, but yeah, I hear you. So Kate knocks on her mother's door. Diane opens the door, but before she can say anything, cops surround Kate and cuff her. Marshall Mars walks out only to realize it is not actually Kate. It's Kate, or it's Cassidy dressed as Kate, who claims just to be selling Bibles. She's like wearing a wig and wearing like a very Kate style shirt, I
Yeah,
think.
Kate style shirt. Yeah.
She's like
Green.
a weird, like, tassel thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching through binoculars from down the street is the real Kate, and she realizes what she's up against. The police are paying very close watch to her mom, so she will have a hard time securing contact with her. Later at the motel, Cassidy comes back and, like, I guess said, like, she was been questioning for hours as she sort of, like, takes off her wig. They're like, they never clocked that you were wearing a wig for questioning for hours, and also never, like, they called like, when they arrest, Cassidy, they're like, I got Austin, whatever. They don't say Kate, they say Austin. So, like, this whole time, Cassidy doesn't know Kate's, first name, and so ostensibly throughout all of this questioning, they don't say Kate in any of this. They're not like, "Do you know Kate Austin?" or anything like that,
Yeah.
which I think would be a pretty obvious question that they
Are you well, I don't
should
know.
have.
Maybe you want to keep it a secret, you know? Keep it in your back pocket for curveball
Okay,
reasons.
that's true. That's true. Like, oh yeah, I never said her name was Kate, and then
Never
that's how
said
you
your name
get
was
her.
Kate. Yeah.
Yeah. Later at the motel, Kate reveals that her mother gave her up to the police, despite Kate taking out an insurance policy on the home before buying it to set her mother up for life. Kate wants to know why her mom betrayed her and chose her abusive husband over her. Cassidy goes to the restaurant where Kate's mom works and accidentally dumps a bowl of chili on her. The old chili gambit.
This is gross. If
It's
you're gonna
really gross looking chili.
accidentally dump something on me, don't make it be chili.
It
Something else,
it should have been
please.
coffee. Like, the chili looks so
Coffee or
nasty.
even coffee's like that's dangerous. You really like as an adult.
Well,
I mean, I
sure,
don't
yeah.
drink coffee, but like all these things are dangerous. How about you dump a bag of nachos on me? How about a real Iowa thing? Dump a walking
Oh,
taco
here's a
on
walking
me.
taco, yeah. We got, would you like a scotcheroo? I would think.
Yeah.
A bowl full of puppy chow. Diane goes to the bathroom to clean up. Kate is waiting there for her. It is kind of an Iowa move to eat chili at a diner, though. It's like, what? That's because it's kind of a gross, weird thing to be
Yeah.
eating at
Except
a
for the
spot.
fact that, again, we don't really have diners in
Yeah, we
Iowa.
don't have diners, but, like, if we did, like, Iowans would be for some reason ordering chili at them.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you're ugh.
You
Yeah.
get, like, a bowl of chili and then, like, tacos, and, like, people make fun of, like, American white people tacos, but, like, Iowa white people tacos, even another level. It's
Yeah.
just flour tortillas straight out of the bag. that you
Oh
bought
yeah.
at the grocery store.
Shredded
Hy-Vee,
cheddar on top. Yep.
shredded cheddar, cold,
Cold shredded. Yes. Yep. 100%.
and
Iceberg
ground beef.
lettuce. Yeah.
Ground beef that's been salted. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else.
Yeah. It hit really hard when you're 8, though. I'll say that.
Mild no, yeah, mild salsa that they
Mm-hmm.
say is
Also cold.
spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Warning, it's got
Mm-hmm.
3 3 bell peppers next to it or whatever, or, chili peppers next to it
Chilies.
on the
Yeah.
menu. Yeah.
Is taco pizza? I think that's an Iowa thing, right? Do listeners not
Probably
from Iowa know about taco pizza?
let us know. I feel like
They're a
I've seen that
main
around
export.
here, but I don't know.
Okay. It kind of goes.
People don't do
Just
the breakfast pizza is definitely not a big non-Midwest thing.
I don't know if I know what breakfast pizza is. Like, is that like fruit and stuff on a pizza? Like,
No,
what's
I'm
breakfast pizza?
surprised. Breakfast pizza is an Iowa thing. If you go to Casey's, the gas station
Yeah.
where you buy
You know,
pizza. You know how
yeah.
you buy pizza at a gas station? You go to Casey's, the gas station, and they sell breakfast pizza, which is like
Wait, let me guess.
it,
Actually, it is like more like cinnamony.
no,
Oh, okay, never mind. What is it?
that would be dessert pizza. What you were about to
Oh
describe.
God.
Breakfast pizza is like usually like egg and ham or egg and sausage on a pizza. You
I
often
don't know about this. This is actually new to
Really?
me.
You often buy it by the slice there. It's not my thing. I didn't like that either, but
Sure.
it's a big thing, breakfast pizza.
You are from like Relas, Iowa. I'm
Yeah,
deferring to you on
you're
this.
from the big city.
The big city. I gotta say, our gas stations, we are losing Iowa culture here. Our Casey's are turning into Quick Stars, but
Heck is a quick star.
it's Quick Trip, but
What's a quick trip?
I it's a primarily Wisconsin chain. I
Wow.
love a Quick Trip. I love Quick Trip. Quick Trip rules, and I'm like,
Being
I
overtaken by coastal the coastal elites of Wisconsin,
oh,
the
yeah. The
lake
Lake
coast.
Coast, yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, of course, it's owned by some, like, nasty whatever, right?
Yeah.
Um, uh, but I do much prefer a Quick Trip to Casey's. Casey's bottom tier gas station, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like,
Iowa
I
people love it
I
though.
will people love Casey's. I don't get it. Come and Go way higher up, and, Quick Trip is the top to me.
Yeah. But they show
Punch Up
none
and
of
Quick Trip,
that.
that's a good time.
They show none of that in Lost.
Mhm.
I'm not even trying to segue us back, but, like, you know, real Iowa heads know. People aren't
Gas
walking
stations are an important part of our culture.
Yeah, you
I mean, I
do
guess
buy
they get
dinner at the
yeah.
gas station.
Yeah.
Buy gas stations have to be the biggest purveyors of pizzas in Iowa, for real.
Could be, that or Pizza Ranch. Um, the if they wanted to have an authentic Iowa atmosphere, they would have had, the 2 of us walk through the background of that, like, jewelry, scene, buying a stack of Mike and Ike's. That's the only way that
Yeah.
this would have
Yeah.
been, accurate. Alrighty. So yeah, Diane goes to the bathroom to clean up her nasty chili stains, and Kate is waiting there for her. Diane tells Kate that she killed the man she loved, and she asserts that she didn't choose that she loved him. Kate replies that Wayne abused her, but Diane simply snaps back that she didn't kill Wayne for anyone but herself. She actually kind of says it like, "You didn't kill him for anyone but yourself." Again, the craziest Iowa
A
accent.
transplant. A
Mhm.
transplant to Iowa.
Mhm.
So good.
That being a punchline in and of itself.
It's
Imagine
so
moving to this fucking
disrespectful.
place. Yeah. Diane promises not to contact the police, but she says she will if she sees Kate again. Kate begins to tear up, emotional. Cassidy drops Kate off at the service station. Cassidy tells her that she is pregnant by the same man who conned her, aka Sawyer. She wants him dead, yet she still loves him. Kate says to call the cops and have him locked up. But Cassidy says if Kate would forgive her mom, or ask Kate, would you forgive your mom for calling the cops? Kate says no, but that this guy has it coming. So in the jungle, Kate is held captive by the others and still handcuffed. When Juliet comes to bring her food, Kate attempts to attack her, but Juliet quickly overpowers her. Yeah, she's got moves.
Yeah, she's like uh, Cynthia Rothrock, famous American kung fu white woman person.
But great pull. Pretty
She
good.
does. I mean,
I
she's
believe
busting
you.
out moves. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna have to Google it. Cynthia Rock, American martial artist and actress. She does have Iowa gas station hair.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Shout out to her. Soon after, Locke comes in to say that he is abandoning her and leaving with the others. Yeah, just John stopping in to say, well, I'm abandoning you. Farewell.
Yep.
He tells her that he does not want to go home. He explains that he made a strong case for her, but then they told him who she was and what she had done, and he knew that they would not likely forgive her.
Doesn't speak to what he thought of her on his own, though. He kind of skips over that part, which is maybe
I've
nice. It might
yeah.
be one step harder to be like, then they told me what you did, and I gotta say, big yikes. I don't want to be associated with you. I know we've been together for 90 days on the beach, but
Yeah.
that's a
I'd like
problematic.
to yeah. He just comes in and just does the yikes emoji face and leaves. I do think that he seems to be more forgiving. Like he would be more understanding. You think although he never let go, like he
He
can never
would,
let he's bad at letting go of stuff.
yeah,
But
he would be more forgiving. Like he would be more forgiving, but also he that makes him the funniest person. Like if you're the one person on the island who he does kind of hold a grudge
yeah.
against, just
Mhm.
Kate, after all the kind of all the good times together, she's generally
Mhm.
been pretty,
Yeah, she's been pretty rock
normal.
solid.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you killed an old man. That could have been." I thought about it to myself. That could have been me. I have to have some solidarity with that old guy. So like, this isn't yikes for me.
Yeah.
We're not friends anymore.
Back at the barracks, Kate hears noises outside, looks through the screen, and sees the others packing to leave. They all put on gas masks. Very that was a pretty I don't know, scary scene. I think like that's an effective like you just see a whole bunch of people like putting on gas masks like that. That got me.
Yeah.
But then they shut the door to the recreation center or the door to the recreation center flies open. Someone tosses in a canister and slams the door shut. The canister pops open and gas starts fuming out, knocking out Kate. She wakes up in the jungle, handcuffed to Juliet. Kate takes Juliet's knife and tries to unsuccessfully to unlock the handcuffs. Kate says that they're going back for her friends. As Kate follows a trail leading to the barracks, they end up getting into a fight about Jack, and Kate dislocates Juliet's shoulder. Juliet's yell of pain attracts, this says, the smoke monster, and they quickly run into the roots of a banyan tree for cover. I so I had a bit of a realization this episode. And later on in this episode we see the smoke situation again later, and I was like, okay, I guess that was a smoke monster. I guess I thought there were multiple monsters on the island, I guess. Um I thought the big like roar the monster like in like the first episode or first or second episode of the whole series when they go to the plane and like the pilot is ripped out of the plane.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was the smoke monster. I thought we just like never came back to that. and that's still gonna be explained later.
Mm.
Um, and then we start seeing this, this smoke situation, and the reason that I thought, like, because it's always like they made the like Charlie made some point about it being like gargantuan. Like I thought they saw like fucking Godzilla or something, like or something along those lines. Um, and but like they use the same like sound and like perspective of it like being like really tall here. Uh in this scene, and it ends up being the smoke monster here. So
Mm.
so I guess that it look I don't know, maybe there still is another monster here, but like I don't know. I I'm kind of if it ends up being the case that um the monster that killed the pilot at the beginning of the series is the smoke thing, I'm going to be disappointed. I wanted I'm still holding that hope that it's Godzilla.
I think that you can safely assume right now that everybody's kind of just referring to the smoke monster, but also there's other weird stuff going on. I
Okay.
think I I'm under the impression that the pilot that got yanked out, that's smoke monster. But
Really?
I might be
Well,
wrong.
well, boo. Thumbs down
Yeah.
to that. The monster roils up in front of them in Juliet's face. Well, what you wouldn't? Why would Charlie say that was gargantuan? Why would they say like it was so huge?
It was
Like it's a cloud of smoke.
smoky.
Like yeah, why? Like that's the word you would use to describe. Like the adjective that you use to describe like a cloud of smoke is big.
Probably, I would call a big cloud of smoke gargantuan.
But you'd say smoke
I
or
would
like
say
it's
smoke,
smoky
yeah.
first. Like
I
it's
wouldn't say it's a monster either. I wouldn't call it the smoke monster.
yeah,
I'd call it the smoke man.
yeah. So
Smoke.
the cloud, the
The
yeah.
cloud, spooky
Um,
cloud.
yeah, and so that's why I still think there's, like, another thing out there because like, is the I feel like no one in this show is saying "the smoke monster." I don't think, yet. Or maybe they never will. And so, this, like, term "smoke monster" is just something that you kind of absorb from people talking about Lost. Um And so, like, I'm guessing at some point that's gonna kind of be more, like, obvious, like, why it's explained that way, but, like, it does not make sense to me that, like, what we've seen so far of what this smoke situation is. Do you describe that as, like, a monster or, like, the smoke monster or gargantuan or any of these sorts of things, but the way that these summaries are talking about, it's like, "Oh, that's all the same thing," and it's kinda pissing me off. It's kinda pissing me off.
Hmm. Maybe I would call it a monster though. I don't know.
Monster's closest. The monster's
I
closest
would have
to
mentioned smoke would be the one of the first things out of
I would
my
say
mouth though.
creature before.
Smoke
Yeah.
smoke is definitely I agree with you that people aren't saying smoke enough. Mention the
Yeah,
smoke.
smoke or, cloud. I'd
Yeah.
probably call it
If somebody was like, "I saw a monster, let's go hunt it down, come with me," or something, and I'm like, "Okay," and I went out, and then we find it, and they're like, "There it is," and I'm like, That's a bunch of smoke," and they're like, "Yeah, that's the monster." I'd be like, "Come on, my dude, you coulda,
like,
prepped me a
you
little better on
lied by
this."
omission,
Yeah,
or, like, you're doing a bad job with your language, gang. You need to
yeah.
focus up and talk about things a little bit better, uh, and, like, yeah, if the first word that you use to describe this is big or, like, gargantuan, like, okay, that's giving the wrong picture to somebody. Like, you would you even if the cloud of smoke is big, like, you would say cloud first, or, like, you describe the color of it before big too. You just say, like, it's dark if you couldn't say smoke for whatever reason. But it's
Sure.
I'm sensing a little bit of, like, retrofitting, I guess, is maybe what's going on, or
Hmm.
retconning. Or they just wanted to say gargantuan in the moment to, like, just keep people like, "We're gonna stay vague about this,"
I
and then for some
love the smoke monsters sound effect, though. It's
Yes,
great.
the sound is great. The sound design is
The
really excellent.
chain, like, it's the how would you describe the sound of a chain being rolled?
Oh.
like you're cranking a chain.
Yeah,
Yep.
chain cranking.
Chain cranking.
The monster roils up in front of them, and Juliet's face is lit up by a series of bright flashes of light. I thought was really cool. The monster then retreats, leaving Juliet terrified. She claims to have never seen the monster before. And at this point, we did it was that was all from the monster's point of view. We didn't see that it was the smoke monster at that point.
Yeah,
And so
that's
that's why I'm
true.
like, all right, here comes
It's
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Hmm.
If you saw Godzilla, you'd be like, "Damn, we're in Japan." Turns out we've been in Japan the whole time.
Hmm. It's like saying that the smoke monster is big. I'm sorry, I keep stuck on this. It's like me describing like, okay, you have one word to describe Godzilla. Like, what did you say? Like, what word would you adjective would you use to describe like the monster that destroyed the city? I would say shiny. You know, like it's maybe one of them, like, and kind of not really. Like, maybe argue about that. Like the parts of like when he's wet, yes. Uh, otherwise, like, not really.
Yeah, if you said that Godzilla was glowing, oh, it's this big glowing thing, then I'm
Yeah,
thinking like an orb, okay?
right.
And then I go out there and it's a big lizard that glows
Yeah, you'd be like, okay,
sometimes.
so there's an must be another thing that happened. He wouldn't have just said this was shiny or glowing.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't say lizard? Lizard didn't come to mind for you for that? You didn't say smoke? God damn. Juliet reveals that Jack told Kate not to come back for him, not because he does not want Kate to be harmed, but because she broke his heart. Then, as Kate calms Juliet down, Juliet asks Kate to put her shoulder back in place, and after doing so, they fall asleep. Ooh, you ever dislocate a shoulder?
No, not trying to either. Seems rough. I'm also
That
not
was gonna be my follow-up question. Why don't you
not
get over here?
gonna pop it in for
Yeah, that
anybody
sounds really
else.
bad.
I think I'll take you to the doctor instead. Even if we're on Lost Island, I'm like, let's wait it out. Let's wait it out.
Mhm,
I'm not gonna pop that back in. That's weird.
mhm. It seems to be it's kind of like a common-ish injury or something a lot of people can kinda, uh, relate to it. I mean, I got shoulder issues, but it's not dislocation, related.
I don't want that to happen to me. It's
Yeah. Shoulders are tricky, man.
yeah.
Seem to be an under-designed part, it needs a little bit beefing up in the next version. Next release, Shoulders 2 will be better. Kate and Juliet continue to the barracks. However, the monster returns, and this time we see that it's Smokey. They take off running and come across the pylons. Kate jerks Juliet to a stop and says that it cannot go through them. Juliet reaches into her back pocket, takes out a key, and unlocks the cuffs. I'm like, what the heck? She had the freaking cuffs or the key. She could take them off at
Yeah.
any point. She then runs to a pylon, like through it, enters in an access code in the keypad, and they run across the barrier. Juliet jams the setting into the red zone, enabling the previously disabled pylons to send a powerful sonic wave to anything that tries to pass between them. The monster zooms in and somehow bounces off the barrier. That pissed me off too. It's like, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's how that would work.
You think it would go through?
Yes.
I think a sound makes sense. Makes sense more than most other things in that situation. Though,
That
yeah,
okay?
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
You
think
know,
so. Because it
I
makes
think it should
sense
be the
that a
force field from like Phantom Menace. They need to have like the gun force field type stuff.
but it's been established, it's not like a it's not that kind of force field. I'm trying to think of how you say
Yeah.
this. It's like one of those it's like a special sieve that lets neither massive things nor tiny things through, but it blocks medium-sized things, you know? Like in this case, you're gonna die, as we've seen, but like a human can walk through it,
Oh, I thought you were
but
saying that you've seen my death.
no,
As we've
a
seen,
hu
you're gonna die.
a human can walk through it,
Uh-huh.
but the smoke monster can't because of sound waves, this science, that we all know about sound waves. They could just, it could block smoke.
I mean, yeah, we see that it blocks the smoke. I just think
Yeah.
that that's
I think it's consistent is all I'm saying.
okay. Bounces off the barrier like,
But can it
boing.
just go up though? I don't understand that.
Right?
It's smoke.
It's smoke. It rises. That's its thing.
And we've already seen that you can go over.
Yeah.
That's been established as
We
well,
got we got ourselves a dumb smoke monster.
Yeah.
It roils and rises, making awful noises. It is unable to pass through the fence. Then it quickly flies away. All right.
So those are just pissed off because I don't think it got hurt by it. It got blocked by it. So like what's it writhing around for? It's just like, "Oh man, this
Yeah. It's like,
sucks."
bro, you're smoke. You don't have anything to hurt. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
skinned my freaking smoke. Like, nah, you're good.
No, you're just pissed
Rub
off
some
right
dirt in it,
now.
big dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just
And you're acting like a baby.
yeah, handing the roiling smoke monster a Snickers, and you're just not yourself right now. Kate asks about the key. Juliet says that she was left behind too, and by people she knew and trusted. She hoped that if Kate thought that they were in it together, Kate would not leave her behind in the jungle like they did. Kate unlocks her cuff, and they continue on and reach the barracks. But like Kate, like kind of walks off behind without her. Like that's kind of like a you ever you ever go to elementary school?
Yep.
Yep. I feel like you run into kids there that are learning the difference between different types of attention, and yeah, you get some kids who maybe are finding out that like okay, negative attention is still attention, and I'm just kind of gonna keep hitting that button here, and I can keep getting attention even though it's negative. I feel like Juliet handcuffing herself to somebody in hopes that they are her friend is kind of along those same lines. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd leave me if you couldn't leave me.
Yeah. It's not quite, I don't know, fully thought out. The writing's not quite there. Or Juliet's just a little more baby brained than
Mhm.
you'd
I mean,
think.
even after the reveal of in the next episode too,
It's still
like
goofy.
it's still goofy. Yeah,
Yeah.
but everyone appears to be gone. Juliet goes to look for Saeed, and Kate goes out to get Jack, finding him unconscious on the floor of his house. Kate wakes him up and tells him the others left because of her. Uh, his like house is all like messed up too. It's like everything's broken in there, and like we're supposed to believe that's probably from I guess the gassing part of it, but like
Yeah. Now Jack just
it's a real just like damn bitch you live like this moment.
yeah.
Like,
Jack had a rough night the night
yeah,
before.
I
The
mean like, and actually though like don't they just need to like toss in the canister and filled with gas? Like why is
yeah,
everything broken in
exactly.
there?
They didn't, yeah. They're like, "Jack, what did they do to you? This looks terrible. They must have beat you up." He's like, "What are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
Gas."
all of the other houses are fine.
I
Yeah.
was just really drinking. I was drinking really heavy last night, and then,
Uh-huh.
stuff happened.
So I guess maybe like as he was getting knocked unconscious, he was charging around. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Whoa. She apologizes and cries for messing up his plans to go home. He ignores her and asks where Juliet is.
Yeah. Nice.
We're really setting up this. We got ourselves a love square. Less a triangle. Sawyer likes Kate, who likes Jack, who likes Juliet, who I guess is just kind of
Baby.
might also like Jack, maybe, but that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Kate pulls back emotionally, telling him that they left her too. They join Juliet and Saeed. Jack suggests taking what they can find and starting back before dark. Saeed objects to Juliet coming with them, but Jack is insistent. Kate and Saeed trade looks, both worried about this new development, and head out. Back at the beach, Hurley tells Sawyer that after the Nikki and Paolo situation with the diamonds, The camp is going to vote on whether or not to banish him. Hurley says there are benefits to living as part of a society and suggests he make amends to fix things. Sawyer tells Hurley that he's ready to make amends. He apologizes to Hurley for calling all those names, is nice to Claire, and gives her baby a blanket, and tells her that Aaron looks less wrinkled since the time Sawyer last saw him. Kind of a good observation to make. Keep that in my back pocket for about babies.
Yeah, your
Less
baby's
wrinkly.
baby's looking a little smooth.
Yeah. Your baby is so smooth. Yeah. Partners with Desmond to hunt for boar and provide food for the camp, which he doesn't really. He just like shows up and Desmond still gets the boar.
Yep.
Uh, Later, Sawyer roasts the boar and everyone eats. Charlie tells Sawyer he had not heard about any that Charlie tells Sawyer he had not heard about any vote. Sawyer realized that he was conned by Hurley into being nice. Hurley explains that with Jack, Locke, Kate, and Saeed gone, Sawyer is all they have and is the de facto leader, which maybe is more con of Hurley trying to turn him into a nice guy, but like, nuh-uh, right? Like that's the hardest nuh-uh I've ever like. He's last on the list to be leader. Like, first
I
of all,
don't
it's
know.
clearly Son, right?
I don't know. I mean, big
Of who's on the
sunhead
beach?
over here. But I think
It's Son.
it kinda might be Sawyer.
Nuh-uh,
I
dude.
think if they found out that there was gonna be an attack, everybody's gonna look to Sawyer, you know? I think so. I'm not saying it's
Maybe.
right. I'm just saying I think that is what would happen.
I think that
I mean, I feel bad for Jin because Jin is, you know,
he would be the
If
one.
he just
Yeah.
spoke English better, he could be the dude, you know?
Yeah.
And I agree with
Right.
you. Sun, smart. But she also Jin can't speak English. Sun's a woman, so they discount her, you know?
Right. I
For
mean,
real.
right,
That's
that's
is
why
what's
they're yeah.
happening. I'm not saying it's good. It's not good.
Yeah.
But I think
But
that's
I mean,
kind of
Hurley before Sawyer. Well before Sawyer to me.
no, I really don't think so. I wouldn't look to her. I'd look to Sawyer before Hurley. No disrespect. I mean, I know
Mm,
it is disrespectful. It only
yeah,
comes from a
that's
place of disrespect, but Hurley's
deeply
too
disrespectful.
goofy. He's too goofy.
D
It's not a weight thing. He's too goofy though.
I don't think so.
He
I don't
can't
think so.
really do things on his own.
He's already been in charge of multiple things. He's already done like he's thrown the party. That's organizing
But
something.
those are
He's
things
done
that
that.
you give to a baby to do. That's similar to what he did to
Mm.
Sawyer. They gave Hurley the kind of the kid jobs of, "Hey,
Sawyer's
little."
displayed no leadership capability. Hurley's the one who's keeping things together. He's come up with the census. He discovered Ethan Rom was not one of them. He's been way
Mm,
more valuable.
I disagree.
Even with Jack there, it's still Hurley or Son. It's never Sawyer. It is
I
never
disagree.
Sawyer.
I think it's Sawyer. I
Why
kind of
is it
agree.
Sawyer? Just why is it Sawyer? Just
He's
vibes.
so it's just vibes. I'm sorry.
Nah.
I know. No, I'm not calling you this. I'm not calling you this. But I think people who might have a similar mindset to you are kind of, teacher's pet type people of like, you know, I follow all the rules. I'm a nice person, so I'm the leader while the teacher is gone. It's like, sorry, no, it's actually the cool kid in the class, you know? It is. It's just vibe. It's a
The
vibe thing.
he doesn't have charisma though. It's like maybe like his character kind of does a little bit, but like
He
he
does.
doesn't. He d-
Because it's like I don't know how to describe it's an attitude thing of like Sawyer is
you're
it's
right.
Sawyer's like somebody who has the traits of a natural leader, but doesn't, execute on it because he's too busy being a bad kid, you know? Uh, but that can be changed. But again,
Uh,
no offense, no offense.
if he had those
Hurley's
qualities, I would agree with you. But like, I think that I think that like they failed to demonstrate that he actually does have those qualities, because in all of these like making amends things, like the he, it's crazy that he is a con man that just doesn't know how to chat people up, right? Like his whole
yeah,
thing was to like if he was actually I think they made a mistake by him being like, oh man, do I really gotta make amends? They should just had him laid on thick. There's like make him just like really unctuous with it or something, right?
sure.
And like show that like he actually has charisma and confidence in this way, rather than being the because he's spending this whole episode as that scene in Wet Hot American Summer where Paul Rudd is like really reluctantly picking up the silverware that he threw on the floor. I don't know if people remember that scene, but he's so reluctant to just like he just cannot say a single nice word, and like it's like it whatever. Maybe I'm sounding like a baby or something with this, but like uh he's got no riz, and he should have some riz as a character. I think we're supposed
Mm,
to sort of have the idea that he does, but we've never see it happening.
I don't
Maybe
know.
sometime. Maybe when he was captured by the others, he kind of had that a little bit. But
Mm.
anyway, he dislikes the idea of being the leader. But Hurley insists that while Jack didn't like it either, it didn't change the fact that all eyes were on him. Sawyer sees how happy he made people and attempts to keep the good vibes going, even offering to hold Aaron for Claire. All right. So overall, 3 out of 5. Kind of mid episode
Yeah,
to me.
3.
Why did you think I was gonna like this episode so much? Is cons or something or what?
I can't remember now. Now that we've talked it all through, I can't remember what it was.
This episode of Lost on Ice is brought to you by Ben and I ourselves. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you like the podcast and want to support us further, please go check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton, or just subscribe to the YouTube channel. That helps a lot too. Thanks for watching. Let's talk about season 3, episode 16, One of Us. Aired April 11th, 2007, directed by Jack Bender, written by Carlton Cuse and Drew Goddard. I am so psyched to share this opening tidbit with you, Ben. I didn't catch this while watching it, but I only read this in the Wikipedia article.
Mm.
So Juliet arrives at an airport with her sister on the date September 22nd, 2001.
Oh. Oh.
You showing up to an airport 11 days after 9/11 and you don't mention it or at all. You're
Well,
not like the slightest bit apprehensive about
I got
being
this.
at an airport.
You might not know this about me. I uh
You were at an
I
airport on 9/11?
I was on an airplane on 9/11.
Or was it on a plane?
I was on a plane on, like, 9/14, 9/13,
Oh
9/14,
yeah?
the day that they opened back up, because my family went on a trip to Disney World. So I had to
You
get on
didn't
the
you didn't
plane.
let 9/11 slow your roll whatsoever.
Nah, I think we probably let
Mm,
it slow the roll by, like, 1 day or something, and then yeah,
mhm.
gotta go to Disney World.
Mhm. You were why they did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that the big idea is like they hate our way of life. They hate that we have Disney World.
Yeah,
Kind of.
I had to go out back out and show them. You know?
Mhm.
We're not afraid to go see Goofy and Mickey
Yeah.
Mouse and stuff like that.
But okay, I thought that was gonna get a bigger pot, but like there's but airport 11 days after 9/11, we're not talking about 9/11. There should just there we should say like as we all know, 9/11 just happened. But it's gonna be
Yeah.
okay. We got a special plane that won't do that again.
I don't I really don't remember much about what it was like in the airport back then. 'Cause I don't really remember what it was like. I always remember TSA, I guess. I remember bags getting checked, so I guess I don't remember what it was like
I
before.
only have one memory of a flight that happened, that I was on before 9/11, and I remember it because that it was before 9/11 because, I was able my dad didn't come with us on this trip, but, but we, like, landed at the gate. He was, like, there at the gate
At the
to
gate.
receive like, we walked off the jet bridge, and he was there, like, I ran
Oh,
up and hugged him. I remember that. Um,
nice. Nice.
yeah. Alright, so yeah, on September 22nd, 2001, Juliet arrives at an airport with her sister, where Richard Alpert and Ethan Rom are there to escort her the rest of the way. Her sister, of course, played by Robin Weigert
Don't recognize, I gotta say, sorry. Who's that?
from Deadwood. From Deadwood.
Okay.
Calamity Jane.
Okay.
Juliet says goodbye to her sister Rachel, promising to be back before her baby is born. I think we do get the name drop this episode. I don't think if we knew her name was Rachel before. And we get another big name drop at the end of the episode here too. But we get two biblical names. Don't know much about Rachel in the Bible, but there you go. In the airport terminal, Alpert pours sedative into a glass of orange juice and gives it to Juliet to drink, explaining that this trip is very intense. All right, so in this airport terminal, we see the name of the airline on the wall. Do you remember the name of the airline?
No. Actually, no. I watched these episodes, like, an hour ago.
Yeah.
But no.
It's I mean it's not a word. It's Herarat Airlines. And like Herarat Airlines. And it's one of those words where I mean like I'm because of this show, I'm just like there's codes everywhere. I'm just like trying to pay attention to everything. But I was like, okay, that's definitely a code or there's definitely an anagram. Herarat is just definitely that. So like I've been thinking on I didn't want to look it up because I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But I was like typing out the notes for this episode, and I think I got it. This is my theory. I don't know if this is ever supported or anything else or everyone talks about. But Herarat is an anagram for Earhart, as in Amelia Earhart, as in the pilot whose plane went missing over the Pacific Ocean.
Ooh, okay. Oh,
That's got
nice.
to be it.
Nice. I'm not gonna say anymore
Sure,
in
but
case this series turns into a historical thing like that.
oh, hmm but that's just little old me doing some thinking on my own. Juliet is wary of drinking the juice, even though she is okay with the other circumstances surrounding the trip. Alpert interrupts and tells her the place she is going is very special and that she has a gift with which she is supposed to do something significant. Juliet drinks the orange juice and passes out. She wakes up in a submarine with her arms and waist strapped down for safety, according to Ethan. She then moves out onto a dock where she meets Ben Linus. Juliet is shown operating with Ethan and Goodwin on a pregnant patient, Sabine, who dies. She is comforted by Goodwin.
Yeah. Moving fast. They're moving fast with her, right?
They are. They are.
It's not quite clear how much time has passed by this point, but then it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of revealed soon.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Is I'm
you
trying.
like thinking, is she thinking like this is illegal? How long is she, like, how long is that going on? You know, wouldn't you be like, why are we on
This
an
is like almost
island?
instantly. I'm like, this is illegal. Like, there's. I
It
mean,
isn't like, shouldn't you have kind of known that ahead of time? Like, you don't have to go live on an island to keep things secret, this kind of stuff.
yeah,
So,
we
like,
can
are
do
we
an
doing stuff
NDA.
offshore because we're gonna do illegal things that we need to have outside of the jurisdiction of the United States.
Mhm. Yeah, like, you have to tell me what the job is. Sorry. I don't know.
Yeah.
A little bit. Juliet meets with Ben and explains her theory that the problems with pregnant women happen at conception. She wants to test this theory by having a woman conceive off the island, but Ben refuses to let anyone off the island. When Juliet tells him that nothing else can be done and has to go home and be with her sister, Ben informs Juliet that her sister's cancer has come back. He offers her a choice. Either Juliet can go home and be with her sister as she dies, or she can stay and he will have Jacob cure her sister's cancer.
Mhm.
Which also, like, by the way, it's like, I'm for sure going home for my sister. Like, this is some you're talking bullshit with this cancer cure stuff. Like, clearly manipulating me. Uh,
Well, but she knows a little bit at this point. She knows a little bit about what's going on.
I guess so.
That's
I
not
guess so.
quite it's not quite
That we
revealed
don't
to
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
us. Yes.
Yeah, but we know that that she has some kind of faith in Jacob. That he's able to perform some sort of
And that there's
miraculous.
been discussion of cancer before.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Jacob is the great man that they've talked about before. Or maybe Jacob's a code name for something, but
Cobb
yeah.
J A J A Cobb.
Yep. Baycodge. Almost 3 years later, Juliet is in bed after sleeping with Goodwin. Afterwards, she is given x rays of Ben's back. And when she determines that Ben has a tumor, she confronts him and accuses him of lying about curing Rachel. He denies lying to her and refuses to let her go home. The next day, immediately after Flight 815 crashes, Ben takes Juliet to the flame station to see Mikhail. Ben tells Mikhail that he wants information on all of the passengers on the plane, then asks him to bring up a live feed. On the screen, a newspaper is shown with the current date, September 22nd, 2004. So I guess 3 years to the date of her getting to the island, followed by a shot of Rachel. Oh, she did say that. That's how we knew. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she says like in bed, like this is my third year. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Followed by a shot of Rachel playing with her child. Rachel named her son Julian, presumably after Juliet, in a playground. And Ben explains that her cancer is in complete remission. We see Robin Weigert with a full head of hair, seemingly cured.
Yeah.
The final flashback is Juliet's remembering of Ben and herself discussing their plans immediately before the events of Left Behind. Ben tells her to handcuff herself to Kate and say that she was left behind. She is told that Claire's implant has been activated and that this will make Claire ill. Juliet is to use drugs left at the drop point to cure her and earn the trust of the survivors. Ben gives her a gas mask and leaves. Oh, damn. That's kind of like one of the last things we see in the show. So, we see all
Yeah.
this island stuff happening as we're sort of like learning to trust Juliet, maybe. And then we kind of get that dropped at the end.
Okay. I want to ask now that we're through that. I want to ask you. I didn't quite hear you. Do you know who Jacob and Rachel are in the Bible?
Jacob was he the son that was gonna get that
Of God.
Abraham was going to kill?
Uh,
It was God's son?
I don't want to. I don't want to tell you who he is.
I can look
Or
up Jacob in the Bible.
Jacob is married to. They're married.
Okay. Why don't you wanna tell me the Bible story?
I don't want to. I don't want to ruin it. Because
Ba 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 ba.
I would avoid reading too much.
Okay.
Even though, I mean, I guess it's like every lot of people read the
You're
Bible.
supposed to kind of know. So was I wrong that like Abraham was gonna kill Jacob? On the,
Uh,
or am I thinking of different? And then like God's like, that was a test of your faith. Actually don't.
yes, I think you're right, but now I'm not sure. Yes, though, I think.
Okay. And I don't know much about
'Cause
Rachel.
I'm not sure of the I feel like there's more than one Jacob, but now maybe I'm just getting confused.
Okay. Okay. Well, I I think it's fair game for me to look at
Okay, fine.
Bible Jacob, right? I mean, like, I don't, I don't want to talk myself into ruining the show for me. So I like, I'm not like putting my foot down on it, but like, we do get a name drop in this, and like, watchers of the show would, that would be like, that's fair game for watchers of the show to look into, right?
I guess. Ask your local priest and send a letter to J.J. Abrams and the crew and say, "Can I read the Bible? Can I read the Bible
Can't
before
just
I
that.
finish
Can I
Lost?"
read the book? Yeah.
Will I
All
ruin
right.
Lost if I read the Bible? Should I read Lost, watch Lost, or read the Bible first in my life? Yeah.
Mhm. If can I watch Lost if I haven't read the Bible? Will it make any sense?
Yeah.
On the island, Jack, Kate, Saeed, and Juliet move back to the beach camp. As they stop for the night, Jack explains to Kate the deal that he made with Ben Linus. Saeed attempts to interrogate Juliet, but Jack intervenes and defends her. God damn. Um, Saeed, he's like, you're gonna tell me what's going on this fucking island. You're gonna tell me what's the deal with all the others. You're gonna tell me everything you need. I want to know. But first, I want to hear some boring, uninteresting bullshit. like, like what's your backstory? kind of thing. Like, who cares about that, man? I think I would insist like, what's going on? You need to tell me this right now before we do anything else. And Jack's like, don't talk to her like that, bro. Like, dude,
Yeah.
Jack's driving me crazy with this.
Sh
We
she's
gotta
under my
know.
watch,
Yeah,
fellas.
he pulls rank a couple times this episode, and Zoe and I were both looking at each other like, "Who the fuck are you, man? You can't just be like, yeah, she's under my protection."
No, you're under our protection.
Yeah, shut
One
the
of us
fuck
is
up, dude. You're what?
we have a
I would.
military
I mean, it would.
man.
It's kind of you're not walking away from this conversation thinking that you like, you know, hung some dong there, didn't you, big guy? Like, oh, you really like drew the line in the sand. We're all quiet and deferring to you because that was such a crazy thing for you to say. Like, you have a bomb on you too? That's so weird for you to be like that. We're gonna talk about stuff, all right? At the beach camp, Charlie hears Claire's baby Aaron crying and wakes her up. Claire says she's not feeling well, so Charlie offers to take care of Aaron. So he also is like, let me take Aaron. And as a guy who's stolen that baby before, let's watch our language there. Let's maybe phrase things a little less deviously and also damn, I'm so done with Charlie. His I thought he was gonna die. What happened to that? Can we pay that one off?
Yeah.
Sawyer sees Jack, Kate, and Saeed returning. Though happy about the return, he expresses his displeasure at seeing Juliet. And I also wonder if he is a little like I kind of thought I was gonna be running this joint here. Uh, Now we get Jack and Jack's back. Hmm. Hurley engages Juliet in casual conversation. Juliet guesses that Hurley was sent to keep an eye on her. He tells her that the last other who came over, Ethan, was killed and buried nearby. That night, Jack tells everyone that he trusts Juliet, and that should be enough. But Saeed disagrees. Yeah, like the same. Who are you to be making that call? Jack continues to explain that John Locke blew up the submarine that was to take him home. Claire suddenly collapses with blood gushing from her face. Juliet takes Jack and Kate aside and tells them she knows what's wrong with Claire because she did it to her. At the camp, Juliet explains that Claire's immune system has turned against her due to a latent reaction to medication in her bloodstream. The medication was designed by Juliet to keep Claire alive during her pregnancy. She was brought to the island to find out why women couldn't have children. The mother's body treats the pregnancy as a foreign invader, and the immune system attacks every pregnant woman on the island has died. And we're kind of looking over at Sun. We're like, ooh. Claire was the first to survive, even though she showed some of the symptoms. Juliet explains that Ethan kept a stash of the serum that is needed to prevent this from happening at a nearby drop point. She goes out into the jungle and retrieves the serum, but Saeed and Sawyer have followed her and they want answers. Juliet tells them that there is no time, and realizing they are not going to budge, she stands up to them and she says she says she finds it interesting that they are the camp's moral police, considering their violent pasts. I think it was earlier, but someone was like, "We got our." Sawyer's like, "We'll get our quote like our resident Iraqi to get the information
Yeah.
from her," and he's like, I've given that up now. Hey, man, I'm a different guy now. It's like it's in the past. But yeah, Juliet takes the serum back to the beach and gives it to Jack. He warns her that if anything happens to Claire, he will not be able to protect her against the will of the survivors any longer. She would be alone, to which Juliet states that she already is. It's like, you two, like, what? This whole thing. Come on. At the camp, Claire wakes up. She's looking and feeling much better. Wikipedia guy saying, she's looking way better. Looking good. Juliet is now on the path to being trusted by the survivors. Jack brings her supplies to set up her tent area and tells her eventually everyone will need answers. Juliet asks why Jack trusts her, and he doesn't need answers. And he does not ask for answers himself. He says because when the submarine exploded, he saw in her eyes that she wanted to get off this island more than anything. That makes her, quote, one of us.
Nice. He said the episode name.
Mm-hmm. Later, while setting up her shelter and remembering her last conversation with Ben, where he's like, all right, doing like the parasite, like, you handcuffed yourself to Juliet, wake up in the forest. If she thinks that you're lying to her, tell her the truth, that you actually did it on purpose. Juliet looks around the camp and ties a final double knot as Jack smiles at her. Literally double crossing the twine. This was a big time 3 out of 5 to me.
Yeah.
Until the twist at the end, where I'm like, okay, I'm actually interested, but like until then, I was like, well, wow, come on.
Okay.
And so ultimately, it's going to be a 3 out of 5 because you can't just be like,
yeah. Nice work.
Next
at the
time,
end. It
something
really turned things
interesting. Like, well, then
around.
fuck off. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Boring.
Yeah. Kind of a funny thing that happened. We've seen the flashbacks, like right when the plane breaks up overhead and the others are doing their book club. Ethan like crawls out of a doghouse. You catch that? Like everyone like runs out and they're like, "What's going on?" And he walks out of something, or he crawls out of something.
Wait, I thought, is it him or what's the guy's name? Cowell? Goodwin? Goodwin, who's doing like electrical work or something next to the house. Isn't that
it was
what one of
Ethan
them
doing?
doing?
It was Ethan
It's
crawling under
Ethan?
there. Yeah.
It's Ethan. Okay, but he's doing
Uh,
electrical work. He's not in an actual doghouse.
No, but it kind of seemed like he
Kind of looks like it, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ethan is a goofy guy. Ethan really, like some of the other doctors on the island are like, okay, these are doctors who are going a little feral because they're on the island and they're not, back in a hospital doing doctor stuff. Ethan is like a true feral guy to me. He's like crazy from the get. He's a guy who shouldn't be a doctor.
Yeah. He's he he's got that Mopather intensity though, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he
Like,
really
can't
Tom
you
Cruise in
tell
it,
like
you
he
know?
and Tom Cruise are related? Like
They yeah.
he's just really intense and everything. Like even when he's being nice, it's like, oh jeez, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be it for the show today. If you like the show and want to hear more from Ben and I, consider joining our Patreon, patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton. Every week, Ben and I release a whole other podcast that's about whatever we want to talk about. You can write into the show at drskeletonsartschool@gmail.com. You can write in the comments below on the YouTube. You can write to us on Spotify, all sorts of different things. Next week, we will be watching Lost Season 3, episodes 17 and 18.